Hey everyone, my name is Nick. Today I'm working on my 2003 Lincoln Town Car. Has almost 100,000 miles, and I was having an issue with the vehicle, specifically with the operation of it, and it was very difficult to recreate. As you were driving down the road, maybe after it's 10 or 15 minutes at speeds under 45 miles an hour, not really stop and go, just kind of easy cruising, I would notice that all of a sudden you would get a little bump. And by bump, I mean that the vehicle felt like it shut off and then turned back on within 1 second, which was kind of odd. And it would occasionally do this in traffic after that 15-minute mark, 20-minute mark, 30-minute mark. It would occasionally just boom, and it was like a hard jolt, which was really weird. And that's typically not something you would get when fuel is cut off. That's something that you get when ignition is cut off. So it was making me wonder, okay, my fuel pressure readings were all okay and were in spec. I knew my coils were fine. I knew my spark plugs were fine because I just replaced them. I know new doesn't mean good, but even still, when you have a one-cylinder misfire, or even two, I know what that feels like versus a literal whole car jolt. And remember, this all happened within not even a second. And trying to figure out what it could be, I came over here and was pulling off the camshaft position sensor. It's dry inside, and figured, okay, what about the crank? Even though these things are not really known for that, figured I would at least take a look. And after crawling under the vehicle, I found out that the crank position sensor connector was full of oil, and I found out so was the inside. Now, when you're under the vehicle, this is mounted like this into the actual block, and typically oil doesn't travel up because we have gravity. So oil was somehow wicking through this sensor out into the connector. And I tested by cleaning the connector out on both ends and drove it a long distance, and it was fine, and then it started acting up again. So I knew, well, if it's not the problem, it is a problem. So I purchased a new Ford sensor, which was not really that expensive, from the Jungle website. And there's the part number here, which hopefully you can see if the bag would fold properly. There we go. And yeah, so I'm going to install this. You unfortunately do have to remove the air conditioning compressor to get at it, because there's just not enough room to remove the sensor, because the hole's there, and when the compressor's mounted, it blocks it. And look at how long the actual sensor is here. So anyways, I'm going to install this new one, get some more contact cleaner, electrical contact cleaner, and blow this all out, make sure the pins still are nice and clean, and we'll go for a drive. And if it's all okay, then I'll be back in business. So just don't forget to take a few minutes, clean things up, make sure these things and clips and hold down nuts and stuff are back in place, and hopefully you too will be back in business. So 13 millimeters for these stud bolts that I don't even know if you're gonna be able to see it here, but the light shining. These stud bolts are 13, and you may have a 10 or an 11 millimeter hold down nut for the transmission lines. I also just let this power steering fluid line fold down. There was a little hold down bolt right there. So we'll see how this holds up, and you do have to take obviously your belt off, at least temporarily. So I think that's pretty much it. 10, 11, 13. I used a 13 ratcheting wrench and just hand threaded them out while holding the compressor up, and hopefully that information will help you with any of your diagnosis. So anyways, thank you very much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.